Hey, this is Taylor Ursula of That's a Pisces. It's time to dig into our Virgo new moon. So as of this moment, we are in the throes of the Virgo new moon lunation itself, having occurred last night at about 6 p.m. here on the West Coast. This new moon has been a little bit of a clean slate, as I've discussed in our month ahead forecast. And there's also a little bit of confusion wrapped up in this moon. At this moment, we have most of the planets right now being ruled by Mercury, including this Virgo sun and Virgo moon. And at the time of, or as the moon was beginning to become new, we had Mercury wrapping up its narrative in its final trine to Chiron in Aries at 22 degrees. Now, I say most of the planets are being ruled by this Mercury because Venus has recently returned home to Libra and is greeting the South Node as part of this Virgo lunation. And that means Uranus is now under Venusian rule as well and no longer answering to Mercury now that Venus is at home. This will be important because as the moon approached Virgo, we had Uranus stationed retrograde. So everything's been under Mercury's rule for some time now. It's been a bit difficult to really know how things are moving forward because Mercury has been gaining its ground by recovering its retrograde shadow, and while still in Leo, is not really able to see most of the planets it's ruling. So in this final trine to Chiron, we may have a story in this Virgo new moon that kind of opened up mid-July, which is when this first trine took place. So thinking back to what we had going on around July 18th, what sort of stories were opened up there before Mercury stationed retrograde? Mercury revisited this story while retrograde across August, and here we are wrapping up this story now. Further confounding the energies at this new moon are the square we had between Mars and Neptune. Mars wrapping up its time in Gemini, making that square to Neptune retrograde in Pisces. We have Mars moving into Cancer tomorrow, beginning a months-long journey as we will have Mars begin its retrograde shadow at 17 degrees of Cancer. So Mars wrapping up this time in Gemini, also wrapping up being under Mercury's rule, running into the fog or the confusion of Neptune, wanting to maybe pierce through some of the uncertainty and not knowing really what is real and what is not. So we have some narratives of the past being infused into this moon. We have some confusion in the present being acted upon or woven into our intentions at this time. And we might gain some more clarity from that as Mercury finally does make its way back into Virgo soon. And this Virgo moon will connect with all of these planets as it's wrapping up its new moon state and beginning to wax in light. This moon will remain pretty silent here today on this Tuesday after having opposed Saturn earlier this morning, maybe revealing to us where we feel limited by the uncertainties that we recognize right now through that Mars-Neptune square. The moon opposite Saturn wanting to plant new seeds and being confronted with the limitations that are currently surrounding us. These limitations grow stronger and are revealed in more sort of finality when the sun makes its opposition to Saturn later this week. The moon squares Jupiter, which maybe pushes us into a place of hope despite the uncertainty and the limitations that we're experiencing now. And in the wee hours of Wednesday morning, we see the moon make a trine to that newly retrograde Uranus at 27 degrees, maybe bringing in some deeper innovation surrounding where we're going to work around what is confusing or limiting now, or where we are going to find new resources to help us do this. The moon opposes Neptune, which again brings us into a place of confrontation about our confusion. Can we have enough hope? Can we plan enough? for what confounds us at this time? Can we see through any bit of this fog in order to have some sense of groundedness in what we are seeking now? The moon squares Mars. Mars squared Neptune. Are we maybe feeling a bit worked up? Where can we channel this energy? What can we put this into, right? We might be reactive. We might be eager to express what we're feeling at this time. And then the moon trines Pluto, newly re-entered into Capricorn at 29 degrees. So we end this lunation cycle with perhaps a regrounding into ourselves, a regrounding into our power and our current resources, an exploration of what lies beneath the surface of what we might be feeling and wanting to act on following that moon square to Mars. Okay, let's go ahead and start this new cycle. Let's go ahead and pull and see what cards show up for us as we start painting on this new canvas. Stay tuned. Okay, so here we go. We are starting a brand new cycle, so no recap, no pause necessary, just jumping right in. We are looking at a cycle that begins for us now, as well as what has been cleared away to allow for this shift. We're looking at what this new cycle may look like as it unfolds and how we can ground our ideas and intentions now. Okay, I feel like I need one more. Just like a really good, oh, almost. All right, hang on. Ooh, yeah, that was satisfying. That was awesome. Okay, let's do it. Beep, beep. All right, and who? Okay, all right. We're leaving something behind, right? Which, yeah, you know, this Virgo new moon opens us up to the eclipses that are coming in the Pisces part of things. And this is not unfamiliar for us walking away from things. We had some Eight of Cups themes showing up for us in our last lunar cycle when we were looking at the Leo new moon and the subsequent lunation phases there. So this is kind of the intellectual side of things. We are perhaps past the emotional Eight of Cups realm, although who knows what's in here because we're starting fresh, right? We may certainly see some themes repeat, but this speaks to more of the mental, communicative side of things. In the Eight of Cups, we were reconciling the emotions. We had been emotionally invested in a lot, okay? And we were talking about what it would be to muster up the strength to separate from something we had invested quite a bit of our emotions into. And the 8 is farther into the suit than the 6, right? So the 6 is about that halfway point, where we recognize at the halfway point that there's no more room for us to move. There's no argument that will coax the swords to let us pass, right? And so we reach a wall. And when we reach that wall, we make the choice to hop onto our little motorcycle here and drive off into the sunset, following a star that emerges from elsewhere. So we are choosing a new path. We are not able to make our way through where we were before, and so we have to deviate. We have to choose something else. Let's see what else is here. Everyone's upright today, so that's pretty interesting. Let's see what else is happening here. A cycle that begins for me now. Well, that's freaking cute. Okay. Love this. Very Virgo. I'm not going to use the word demure. I'm not going to do it. But it is giving Virgo, right? It's giving grounded. It's giving practical. It's giving resourced. Okay. And it's giving new, which we love for a new moon. Okay, and I did call this something of a clean slate, right? A new canvas, if you recall, on which we are able to paint. Okay, so new opportunities, new abundance, new possibilities, right? These are pentacles, these are tangible. One might say these could be financial. One might say these could be just getting a sense of what our resources are right now and what resources are becoming available to us as the light of this moon waxes. Okay, this could be something that isn't necessarily brand new, but it could be something that was new, that started to sprout, but that did not have the space or the resource or the soil to really take root. And as we clear the path and we leave the soil that will not allow us to grow any further, we perhaps open up to new soil that is enriched, that is available, that is able and capable to host this seed that's been kind of on the back burner for us. So this is very cute. This is lovely. This is a beautiful energy to be starting off this moon with. What has been cleared away to allow for this shift? Oh, okay. So we've cleared away issues around balance. We've cleared away issues around one or more of these elements being out of balance for us, right? We talk about the emotional realm of water, the grounded nature of earth, the passionate nature of fire, the communicative nature of air. Again, one or more of these was out of balance for us, right? And we have since kind of tackled some of these issues, or at least we are in the process. We have identified what they are, and we're in the process of bringing them back into balance. All right, we can maybe get a sense here from what we have so far that something communication wise was out of balance. We were still fighting something, and maybe we were giving a lot of energy to the mental faculties within us. We were trying to communicate something and not being heard. Okay, we've got earth here, so perhaps again there's some connection between these two where we have left soil that would not allow us to grow, and now earth comes back into balance as well. Okay, this is nice. What this new cycle may look like as it unfolds. There's our card of the year. Okay, so I talk a lot about the instincts that are wrapped up in this card, and really what is important about the relationship to these instincts and what we may see as this cycle unfolds is offering ourselves some kindness, tuning into our sense of patience, really maintaining this balance between these two kind of sets of creatures, if you will. Really seeing these instincts and intuition start to work together, giving ourselves time and grace and patience to shift out of rebalancing and into allowing new things to grow, and even like shifting out of the departure that we have made to arrive here. Okay, we've got some big major energy here. A reminder that the cycle we will see opening up will likely be activated at this time, but we'll continue to see this in subsequent cycles. Okay, so this new cycle looks like us, again, like grounding into patience, grounding into balance, giving ourselves compassion, recognizing our sense of resilience, and really anchoring into that in order to move through what comes up for us now. How we can ground our ideas and intentions. Oh, there's our card for the month, and very appropriate for Virgo new moon, as it is the card of Virgo. Okay, we've got 3 majors here. Just want to point that out. So we can ground our intentions by going inward, by not seeking the advice of those outside of us, but by going within and finding those answers. You'll see that this is like a portal into the woods, opening up inside the woods. Okay, so we're going into our inner landscape. Okay, we are really like going into the greenhouse is something that I'm thinking about here, and like protecting this, right, with this enclosure that is safe, that we have cultivated, that allows us, again, to really tune into strength, to make sure that we remain balanced. All right. This leaves like a really lovely antidote, perhaps. Oh, it's not really antidote. It wasn't simultaneous with what we've just moved through. It's a really nice opening of something new here. We've kind of endured a lot over the last few lunation cycles, leaving a lot behind, trying to find the hope, trying to understand the reason. And here we are, given a nice seed that we are invited to kind of take some time to go within and plant and really like take care of and nurture and allow the chance to grow in a way that it hasn't been able to before. Okay, thanks so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed this, please give this video a like. Maybe send to someone who's ready to kind of go within and plant this seed, and subscribe so we can see how this lunation cycle continues to grow. I'll see you then.